Welcome back to First Chapter Friday. Today, we will be reading Lie to Me by Kaitlin Ward. Chapter 1. Girl drowns in the Passumpsic River. When I see the headline, I almost drop my phone. It's a link someone posted on Facebook from the local news. I tap the screen with shaking fingers and read the article in a rush. A 20-year-old college sophomore, Maria Lugan, survived by both parents and a younger brother, Steve, who goes to my high school. Maria had been missing for a month. Her death is currently believed to be an accident. No additional information at this time. I set the phone down carefully on my bed and go stand in front of the mirror hanging on my closed door. I stare at my reflection until my features start to feel distorted and unreal, like a word you've repeated too many times in a row. Because what happened to that girl, it can't have been an accident. It's too much of a coincidence. I move closer to the mirror, stare at myself from only an inch away. My skin is bruised in places, and there's a cast on my wrist. My head spins if I stand up too fast, because I hit my head and fell down an embankment, almost into a river. Unlike Maria, I survived, but I don't think I was meant to. This seems like a terrible idea, Amelia. My best friend Skylar's hands are white-knuckled fist around the steering wheel of her Corolla. Isn't it too soon? Won't it upset you to go back to the spot where you nearly died? I don't think there's a too soon for this type of thing. Maybe not, I guess. But remind me again how this is going to help. I still think all this is going to do is upset you, and we should spend our time finding a new spot instead. I don't want a new spot. I want to have not almost died at the old spot. She flinches, and I feel bad. Before returning to school this week, I spent 4 days recovering at home after 3 days in the hospital, with bruises and breaks and a concussion. The last one is what worried everyone the most, and it's the thing my family and friends are all still worried about. The concussion kept me from remembering exactly what happened when I fell, and it's left headaches and occasional vertigo in its wake. Sky wants me to focus on letting myself rest and feel better. She's not wrong, but she doesn't know everything. No one knows that I suspect I'm in danger from a source other than my own brain, not even my best friend. I glance sidelong at Sky. She's supermodel tall and thin as a spike. Her naturally blonde hair is dyed a shade of pink that edges just close enough to the natural spectrum that her school doesn't make her change it. And it's cut into a short, layered bob. Her heart-shaped face is littered with freckles, and right now her jaw is clenched tight enough that I can practically feel her teeth grinding. I just need to see it, okay? I say softly as the river comes into view at the bottom of the long, winding drive down to the dam. No one else is here. Late September is not a super popular time for the beachgoers. I want to see if I, feel anything. I know how that sounds, but just bear with me. Sky parks her car and cuts the ignition. You know I will. She opens the door, then pauses with a smile. But the second you start ordering essential oils, I'm ordering an intervention. I laugh. Deal. We follow the portage trail that winds behind the dam. It's a collision of natural and unnatural beauty back here. The stark cliff of cement and the rushing water at its base. The trees and the rocks around its edges, and the mountains in the background. It's a place I've always loved, and I hate that it's tainted now. I stop walking, press my shins right up against the guardrail. This side of the rail is a paved path, and the other side is a few feet of grass and then a long, steep slope to the water below. The brush is marred with heavy lines of dirt. Bushes have been hacked away, and trees have been broken. Some from my fall, some from my rescue. This is where Sky found me. The last thing I remember is sitting on this guardrail, waiting for her to arrive. She had something to tell me, she'd said. Something important. and this was our spot, the place where we'd always come to swap secrets. My mind is pretty much a blank space after that. I remember the feeling of something pushing my shoulder, but I don't remember anyone else being near me. Doctors say I must have lost my balance after standing up on the wrong side of the guardrail. Then I fell, tumbling partway down the rocky hill by my sheer, unfathomable luck. I got hung up in a tree and didn't drop the rest of the way to my death. My neurologist told me that I probably won't remember anything new, and that the reason I don't remember my fall isn't because I've buried some traumatic memory, but because my concussion means a memory doesn't even exist. I hate that. The idea that something can happen to you and can be completely ignored by your own brain. I want my neurologist to be wrong, and that's the main reason I'm here. Peering down into the abyss below me, I get such an intense wave of vertigo that I have to sit down on the path. I pull off my new lime green glasses and press one palm into my forehead between my eyebrows until the dizziness passes. I'm on the right side of the guardrail, I remind myself. The safe side. You okay? Sky asks. She crouches beside me, rests a hand on my back. I'm fine. I swallow nausea, unwilling to admit that maybe she was right and this was a bad idea. It's just a place. I shouldn't have to feel this way about it. I replace my glasses and stand up, stretching my arms. My left one is heavy, thanks to the cast surrounding my broken wrist. It makes stretching a lot less satisfying. And then I feel something. A shadow of a past sensation, like something's tugging at my throat. My hand flits there, to where my favorite necklace normally would be. A rectangle made out of wood scraps on a thin chain that my dad and brother made together and gave me for a Christmas a few years ago. But it's missing. Along with my glasses, I lost the necklace when I fell. Suddenly, I can recall a tightness against my throat, and then the sensation of absence. I shut my eyes and try to expand that feeling. Remember something else. Something real. Nothing else comes, but still, I feel hopeful. Maybe the doctor was wrong, after all. Maybe I will remember what happened. You sure you're all right? Sky persists. I open my eyes. Yeah, I'm just thinking. She perches cautiously on the roadside of the guardrail, fingers curled around the metal. It's really not that close to the edge, I notice. Not close enough for me to have stood up, stumbled, and then fallen halfway down the slope, in my opinion. Thinking about what? She asks. What was the important thing you were going to tell me that day? It's not the first time I've asked. She doesn't seem to want to tell me anymore, but I'm hoping maybe here she'll change her mind. It's the other reason I wanted to come back, and it's the reason I wanted Sky to come with me. With the water crashing out the back of the dam, sometimes it feels like the sound swallows up your secrets and keeps them safe. That's why it's always been our meeting place. It seemed important at the time, she says, but now, a shrug. I don't want to talk about it. But it's not relevant, okay? Her tone is almost snappish, and it stops me from pressing the matter more. We've drifted recently, or so it feels to me. Months ago, maybe sometime in July, I noticed that she was busy more often when I texted her to make plans. I pulled back a smile, and I hoped that she would notice, but she didn't seem to. She is still here when I needed her, so sometimes I think it's all in my head. But it does make me wonder about her secret, if maybe there's something she wanted to say, something that was making her distant, and if maybe she decided not to tell me because she feels bad for me after what happened. I hope that's not the case, but I get a pit in my stomach when I think about it. Usually I would tell her about what I remembered. She might tell me that remembering my necklace snapping means nothing, because that's Sky, my most pragmatic friend. But she would also listen, and she wouldn't make me feel stupid. Except now she's keeping something from me, and it doesn't put me in much of a sharing mood. I don't think I'm going to remember anything, I say. We should go. You sure? I'm sure. She stands up, biting her lip. You look disappointed, Amelia. I don't want you to be disappointed. That's why I thought we shouldn't come. I'm not disappointed. I fold my arms. I didn't have any expectations. Good. She hugs me. And now we've been here, and you've seen it. And maybe that's what you needed, to just, move forward. Dwelling on what happened isn't going to make it unhappen, and it's better if you just don't think about it too much. I know. I smile half-heartedly. You're right, Sky. Except I don't think she's right. I'm not going to be able to stop dwelling on this. When everyone told me that this was an accident, I wanted to believe them. I tried to believe them. But I've felt it in my gut this whole time that something else happened. Something much less innocent. It's based on nothing, really, except that I'm always careful and that something feels off. I told my doctor that the last thing I remember before it all goes blank is a sensation like a hand pushing my shoulder. I don't remember anyone being there, though, and my doctor dismissed it so fast, that concussion-related disorientation, that I've been too embarrassed to tell anyone since. But the gut feeling remains. And after I saw the news article about Maria Lugan's death, the feeling has strengthened tenfold. I don't want someone to have tried to kill me, but if they did, I want to know who it was, and why me. And I want to catch them before they try it again. And that concludes the first chapter of Lie to Me by Kaitlin Ward. Thanks for listening.